Hi, everyone, and welcome to WTCA TV, coming to you today live from the 54th Annual Global Business Forum in Bengaluru, India. I'm your host, Barb Mitchell, and I'm joined by Carla Stone, coming to us from WTC in Delaware.
Yes,
Yeah, long journey over.
absolutely.
Yes. Worth it, though, I hope. Tell us a little bit about, we'll get into that a little bit more in a moment, but let's start first by allowing you to introduce yourself and your organization to our audience.
I'm Carla Stone. I'm president of World Trade Center Delaware. We were founded in 1987, which makes us one of the oldest World Trade Centers around the world. And our mission is to help companies grow their businesses, increase profitability, employ more people, avoid economic downturns, all through international trade.
So when we mentioned, of course, it's a big commitment to come here, a long journey and time. So what was important to you that made you feel that you wanted to attend this year's forum?
I think the reason that I'm here is to make connections for companies and organizations back in Delaware. And this is a wonderful opportunity to do it because so many people from across the globe are concentrated in one place, so you don't have to travel to each and every country to meet with them.
You're right. 37 countries, I believe are
Right.
represented at this year's Global Business Forum. Couldn't agree more. What an amazing opportunity to have really important conversations in person with people from around the world. So let's talk about India, though, for a second. Have you been here before?
Yes, I have.
You have, and do you feel that it's changed over the time that you were here last? I don't know how long ago it was, but what's
was
your impression of India?
color. Color more than anything
Right.
else. And
Yeah.
it's reflected in the fabrics, in the design, in the artwork. You look at embroidery, the silk embroidery, for instance, and the care for which people have to color and to art. I think that's so important.
Yeah, and I feel like color of spirit as well in a way, right? So many people have talked just about the warmth of the people here, and we've really experienced that at this forum. Just I don't know about you, but I just feel that it's been so impressive how we've been welcomed here to India.
Oh, absolutely. People can't do enough. You really feel as an honored guest when you walk into this country, even starting in the airport. People, can I carry that for you? Can I help you? Please welcome to our country.
Yeah, it's so nice. So, what are your hopes? What do you hope to accomplish? What are you most looking forward to over the course of this week? I know it's hard to believe we're at the tail end of it now.
I think what I'm hoping to accomplish is to set a base level for our companies to make new connections, to follow up with new organizations, to look for customers, suppliers, partners for research and development,
Yep,
exchange programs with students. That's a very important part
good point. Yeah.
of these organizations, such as the World Trade Center. We are an educational organization as well. Education is really at the basis of what we do because you don't learn international trade overnight.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah. And one that I haven't heard brought up as much this week. And I think I'm really glad you mentioned that.
That's actually the focus of what we do at World Trade
Okay.
Center Delaware. We have,
Segue into where I was going to go ahead. Yes.
yeah, we have over 20 events a year,
Okay.
and many of these are training events. So we have different topics such as labeling and regulation and how to meet financial requirements or where to apply for international financing or financing for your export from U.S. agencies or the Exim Bank. So all of these kind of things are important to exporters. And on the import side, learning about foreign trade zone. Delaware, the entire state, is a foreign trade zone 99. And there are many advantages to foreign trade zones for bringing products into Delaware. And we have a huge port, an important port, which is really the linchpin for trade in Delaware. It's the largest dockside cold storage in the country, largest fumigation,
Did not know that.
the only one in the country where USDA and inspection is located inside the gates. So, and we have foreign trade zones. So it's important to know that when you're bringing products in, there are ways to minimize costs. And that's very important because we want to bring in products as well, components we don't make in the US or food. It's nice to be able to have clementines from Morocco that come to Delaware,
Right.
or grapes from Chile, orange juice from Brazil. I could go on. And how do they come in? How do you do importing? So we import as well as export. It is important as well.
Yes. Thank you for highlighting all of that. That's interesting. And I bet some tidbits, I mean, I'm learning talking to you, and I know our audience will be as well. Um, let's focus on some of the conversations you've been able to have so far this week. Is it what you expected? Are the topics that are coming up similar to what you would be having at home, or are there new themes?
Well, Delaware is known as the corporate capital of the world. Over about 2 million companies are incorporated in Delaware. 68% of the Fortune 500, over 80% of the IPOs originate from Delaware. And so I get a lot of questions about incorporation, how it's done. And I've received a number of requests. Can you do a webinar? Is it possible for our companies that want to establish a foothold in the United States, can they learn about this? Would you be willing to do that? So that's been one thing. I always know people ask about incorporation.
Yeah, that's important. Wow, those are some impressive stats. Again, you're educating us here today. Yeah, it's anytime you can tell people real specific information like that, people will leave here knowing that about Delaware. What will you hope to leave here with in terms of new knowledge of whether it be India or some of the other global businesses you've been able to connect with?
I think that around the world, people are addressing many, many of the same issues. Climate is one of them in particular. Food wastage is very important. In many countries, the United States included, after production, food waste is a huge problem. And that's one area where technology such as cold storage, cold supply chain, understanding how to keep food fresh without having to put all kinds of preservatives on it. Those are technologies we have. And so people are interested in that. So it's ways, how do you come up with new ideas to address common problems?
Right. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, it is interesting too how some of these themes, the solutions may be different, but the overall common themes globally are quite similar, aren't they? Is there anything else you'd love our audience to know about WTC Delaware?
Well, we're a small World Trade Center. And as I said, we've been around for quite a long time. But I think what makes World Trade Center Delaware so successful is our partnerships, whether it is with government agencies, multilateral donors, other World Trade Centers. That's really at the kernel of everything we do, is establishing a partnership, establishing collaboration, knowing we can help each other. We all can't do it alone.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Carla, for joining us. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. I know there's so much going on and so much yet to do, and in these last final hours of the show, but of the forum. But thank you for the time. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
And thank you to our viewers for tuning in to WTCA TV, where we're coming to you today with conversations from global business leaders here in Bengaluru, India. Until next time.